Hi there, it's Siobhan Fletcher, one of the journalists up at Manx Radio. Welcome to our latest newscast. Now, 90 households on the island are believed to be at risk of being cut off from their gas supply. It's a claim currently being investigated by the Office of Fair Trading, which is seeking an urgent meeting with Isle of Man Energy. One customer facing the possibility of a winter in the cold is Leah Garrett, a 23-year-old single mother. 3 weeks ago, she received a letter informing her that her monthly direct debit was going to be upped by £62, making her future bills £112 per month, an amount she says she simply cannot afford. Leah has told Manx Radio the company won't help her and is calling on government to do more. You've emailed in to us then about your experience with Manx Gas, or sort of Isle of Man Energy as they're now known. Can you just run me through what's been going on for you?
So around 3 weeks ago, I received a letter from the Manx Gas. Now, I've never had any other issues in the past with gas. Always paid my bill on time, always been up to date with the bills. And I pay £50 a month bill, and that's never been an issue. I received the letter telling me that rather than my £50 bill that was due to come out, they were going to extend it to a £112 bill, which it makes me like throw up because I don't have that kind of money spare. So after a few phone calls, I wasn't getting through anywhere. I was calling and calling and calling. I just couldn't get through. So I'd seen comments from people on Facebook and posts about people who had just had the money taken from the banks without a letter even being sent. So I was kind of lucky that I had received this letter in the first place, as I know some people hadn't. So what I did is I went on my own back and cancelled my direct debit, but immediately started up a standing order for more than what my original direct debit was. So I set up a £60 standing order to go direct to the Manx Gas. And then within maybe a week and a half of doing that, I still couldn't get through to the gas. I'd been phoning on and off. It seems nobody can get through at the minute. I'm not sure. No response. I then received another letter telling me that my outstanding balance of £300 was to be paid within 7 days of the letter being received and sent out. And if this outstanding amount was not paid, then I could either get fined further or my gas would be cut off. Now, I am 2 days away from that 7-day cut off date. So on Friday morning, I could wake up without hot water or heating for my house. And that's quite a scary thought, especially with the temperatures dropping and my house isn't the best insulated with it being a council house. Last year we suffered awful with mold. So the heating is great to prevent that. So without me putting the heating on, we're going to get mold, which causes illnesses. You know, the cycle does go on. Mm-hmm. So it's sort of, where do I go from here? What do I do? I tried to contact Manx Gas themselves to either be not got through or be told that it's not something that they can deal with. They can't change or do anything other than tell me to pay the bill. I've had friends tell me that they've been told, well, just pay the bill or you'll get cut off. You know, these are people with families, children, babies. Some people have just been cut off without even being told they're being cut off. And it's devastating. People can't just go without heating and hot water. It's a necessity. It's a human right and it's human needs, you know, to survive, especially in the winter. So it is quite a scary situation to be in.
And you mentioned in your email as well, like you're a single parent to a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
So you're obviously factoring in your daughter as well. Do you feel like you're in a little bit of a catch-22 really? Because obviously you're in this sort of situation where you need to use the gas but can't afford to pay it.
Yeah, so it's more so, you know, I think we all as a community have got used to the fact that prices are on the hike. Prices are rising and there's nothing we can do about that. There's nothing we can do about inflation. And a lot of the time, families, we just pull through and we get on with it. I mean, we complain here and there, but it's something we just get on with and that's expected of us. But when big companies, gas companies, decide, well, we're going to cut off your heating and your hot water because you're not paying these bills, it then becomes an issue, because we're not seeing that with electric. Electric has been hiking the same amount as gas has been hiking, and they're not threatening to cut people off. So the issue comes from the companies that have decided that families that are trying their hardest and paying what they can, it's still not enough. And it's a shame, because regardless of whether you're on benefits, if you're working, if you're a pensioner, regardless of what income you have, the income does not reflect the hiking of the prices that we are getting charged. The price just doesn't add up to what our outgoings are constantly being given to us.
Mm-hmm. And you know, in response to this, we spotted earlier on Twitter, Laurie Hooper, one of the ministers, the Health and Social Care Minister, he said that threatening to cut off people who are making every effort to pay their bills is highly unethical and entirely unacceptable, especially as we go into the winter. He's talked to John Wannenberg about this today. He's raising it through the OFT. Would you like to see government step in with that stance and really kind of try and have the consumers back a little bit on this?
Yeah, so it isn't just, I mean, the gas company is at fault when they're doing this to people. They're sanctioning people that can't afford to be sanctioned. But we also have to look at the government. And I mean, compared to last year, the people who were on benefits alone were given help. They were given financial packages to help them get through the winter months. Now, this year, with the prices going up once again, we have not received that this year, the same support. And looking back from last year, it was only the people who were on benefits that got those financial packages. The government didn't reach out to those people who were minimum wage or who are pensioners, who are old people, who can't work. You know, the government need to be helping the people rather than putting funds into unnecessary things that we have seen island-wide that I'm sure a lot of people have different opinions on. But we need to, the community needs to be backed by the government, especially when it comes to things like gas, because it's human needs, it's human rights. We all want to have a warm home for our children. We all want to be able to bathe them. We all want them to be healthy and warm, especially in the winter. And the government need to get behind that and step up and say or do something to change either what's happening, or to say, okay, we can help out those families or set up a fundraiser. There's many other things that they could do or put in place to help the vulnerable people who are going to suffer from these gas cuts.
You're obviously referencing the help schemes they had in winter last year with the cost of living crisis. They've, like you say, they've not really renewed that this year. Is that something you think they should have a second look at then?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, it's one of these things, there's always going to be a win and lose conversation with the government giving people money and helping people towards these bills, because nobody's going to be happy, or people are going to be happy and people aren't going to be happy. There's always going to be a group that's going to be missed out or not helped enough. But the government need to start somewhere. They need to show some support. They need to help in any way they can. Not that, last year people were lucky enough. There were people on benefits. I was lucky enough to receive those financial packages, but I know some friends and family, especially, who were working 12-hour shifts on minimum wage, they could not pay their gas bills still because they were not entitled to those financial packages, which seems silly because they are working people. They work hard, they pay tax, national insurance, they're getting out working 12-hour shifts, and they're still not entitled to help. And that's the most devastating part, is seeing people run ragged without any compensation or recognition that they're working so hard but they're not getting anywhere or getting any compensation from the government to help with these bills. And it's hard because I get so passionate about it, because you see on Facebook about a £900,000 flooding wall that they want to build, or this new boat that they've bought this year but has many mechanical issues, or the expansion of a dock that we may not even really use, which all is costing hundreds of thousands of pounds, when you have people who have been cut off from hot water and heating in their home sat in the cold. You have old people sat freezing to death because they are too scared to put their heating on. And the government have thrown it into little projects like this. And it gets me quite angry as a parent as well, because like this we shouldn't have to, as a community, struggle with this sort of stuff. Not in this day and age, but we are. It's almost like we're being thrown to the old ages and back in time where, you know, people want to bring out their fires and sit around a fire just to keep warm.
Well, we put Leah's claims to Isle of Man Energy, and in response they sent the following statement.
We have recently been reviewing the customers that are on a fixed direct debit as we move into the colder months. Those customers that have been contacted by us have been asked to increase their direct debits as their monthly payments aren't covering their monthly consumption. Some customers are struggling to clear debt that has built up over the year, so the monthly suggested payments in the letters are to ensure that they clear their debt and pay enough to cover their consumption. In all letters and advice across our website, we encourage customers to call our teams and have a conversation about what they can afford to pay. This is the first step she needs to take. We only disconnect customers as a last resort when they don't engage with us about affordability. While we understand it's very worrying for customers, they do need to speak to us and the government to seek additional support. We donate to Salvation Army and Age Concern, so an independent body qualifies who gets additional funding towards gas, as we don't believe it's appropriate for us to decide who gets support and who doesn't. The majority of customers pay on time, and we send multiple letters to those customers that are falling behind, encouraging them to pick up the phone and speak to us so we can help them. Our call centres are operating as usual with normal levels of call volumes, so customers should be able to talk to one of our customer services team members within a few minutes. Our teams haven't reported any higher than usual call volumes. As a reminder, our number is 01624 644444. Thank you for making it to the end of the Little Manx Radio newscast. You are obviously someone with exquisite taste. May I politely suggest you might want to subscribe to this and a wide range of Manx Radio podcasts at your favourite podcast provider, so our best bits will magically appear on your smartphone. Thank you.